50%. I dare say that's probably higher than what it is. Now, I was...
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead.
So I'm asking myself, as an educator, an activist, and a person who understands the relationship between literacy and our struggle. Why can't our young people read? And I'm asking a person in Baltimore, I said, you know, is there something in the water? And he said, yeah, there is something in the water. In Baltimore, our schools, we don't have water fountains in Baltimore. For almost a decade, our physical infrastructure has not allowed our kids to drink out of the water because of lead poisoning. This is in America. We know what we hear about Flint. In Houston, maybe we should make sure to hold our leadership accountable and make sure they have a study that assures us that our students, there's no lead poisoning. I don't know if that study has been done.
It's just beginning out of this.
Okay, great. So I think that's something that we need to talk about. And I want to just, kind of make it very quick and get to the point. Is that when we came out of slavery, not being allowed to read, before the government even got to the South to set up school systems, we had already collectively pooled our resources and began to educate ourselves. Okay. And then we talk about today, we're here to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Black Power, but preceding Black Power with the organization SNCC, there was Freedom Summer in 1964. Who in here has participated in that? Did anybody?
I did.
Okay, well and what they were able to do, they were able to register a lot of voters. That was the primary responsibility. But they also set up over 50 freedom schools. Okay. And I think something like that is what we need today in terms of this generation. I want to float that idea out there.
Is that the proposal you were talking about?
That's the proposal.
Freedom schools, and what would be the essence of the mission of the freedom schools?
I think that while we have the country mobilized right now, the young people mobilized around police shootings, because we can go on. I mean, it didn't come a day soon when the person was shot and killed. I mean, that was just a rerun of last summer. So it's becoming almost like a ritual for us to wait on someone to get shot and shooting, and then we respond to it with protest. And I think that we should protest every time there is a shooting. But I think that it's very critical that we need to have a program to go alongside that. So while you have the students and people around this country mobilized, I think something specific that we should be, it's an emergency, because if only 14% of your people, millions of people running, only 14% can read.
A little, yeah.
Then that's a crisis. And that feeds into the criminal justice system. If you can't read by the time you're in the 3rd grade, you are 68 times as likely to be in prison as you are otherwise. Okay, you can go on. I don't want to go with all that data, but the point I'm making is that's something specific that we need to actually. I just want to float that idea that we have a liberation summer. It would take about a year to plan, but next summer there ought to be at least. We start it locally. I don't know what the number might be. It might be 2,000 black students. Stop what you're doing, and you're going to participate and volunteer in the communities and go and get these kids and help teach. Okay, that's the other thing is I want to say is that we're not going to wait for George Soros. We're not going to wait for the Gates. We're not going to wait for the philanthropists. I mean, that's fine, you can get, but we're going to do this ourselves. Black power.
Thank you. So we got a hard proposal from PK. Write it down so we get the message right. The same thing, Sylvester.
Brother Moderator, there are models for those freedom schools in existence right now, and I can give you that data.
Please.
Let me say one thing, because PK just gave you that example. I want to say that the Children's Defense Fund, they've already provided the model for this.
That's one
so
model.
It's not like, I'm not saying that this is not being done.
No,
I think it's, we're right here to shape community.
No,
so I don't want to say it's not.
We've got to make up our mind to do it. Kamau.
Brothers and sisters, I want to repeat an adage that I grew up with. You cannot fall out the bed if you're sleeping on the floor. The second thing I want to say is biblical. And it says that surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird. What I'm suggesting, brothers and sisters, that it is systemic. You know, if a kid's nose is running, it's not his nose that's sick. It's something wrong with the system, and it's manifested through the nose leaking. So my point is that there are mouths out here like the Children's Defense Fund mouth. You can go to www.mbkhouston.org and you're going to see a series of action points that run from literacy to college readiness to post-secondary occupations and skills to re-entry, employment, etc. All of these action points, and they're action points for reform of the police system that came from the 21st century Commission on Policing. So my point is that working unity is better than talking unity. So what we've got to do is that we've got to coalesce around some practical kinds of programs that are already out there. Now, you might have something very, very new